Hello, my name is Clint with SMS. I'm going to talk about go-detect and setting up the camera and the vision research software, PCC. Here's our camera. This is our mounting bracket onto the ESD machine. I'm just going to go over with you what it should look like when you're set up for the ESD testing. Here is the extension tube. You can use a 32, I think it's a 10 and a 22, or the 36 one extension tube, and this is the 35mm lens. Here is the adjustment here on the top. You should be familiar with the the f-stop. We recommend 5.6 up to 16 depending on the energy you're using. And in some cameras they have this manual setting for the f-stop that closes and opens. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but it closes and opens the f-stop in there. If you have that set in the wrong position, when you actually move the f-stop, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So before you set it up, make sure that when you move the f-stop, you can see inside the camera that orifice, or the eye, what do you call it, the lens in f-stop changes. So if you set that, I think it's all the way up, there we go. Now it's working as it should. So yeah, just pay attention to that. Some of the cameras don't have that feature. Then you secure the camera, of course, to the base here. I've taken this one side off, just so I can fit it inside and easily to mount the camera on this base, as well as secure this. You want this secure and oriented properly, so it's not moving around. And I got 2 screws in there. So yeah, let me put that back. There's a little release in the back, and I can slide that up about right there, and we'll see how to set, make sure we're getting a good image that's in focus of the needle here in just a minute. So next to the connections to the camera, of course, we got power. Then the Ethernet. The Ethernet connects to the computer over there behind my shoulder. And don't forget the trigger. So here's the trigger connection that goes to the it detects the flow in the ground current when a spark is initiated. Okay, so it shouldn't move around as you're doing the testing. When you close and open the door, it should be steady enough that the camera's not moving around. That's what you're going for there. And that make sure the f-stop is working. You got all the connections. You can turn the camera on. I'm going to pick up the camera here for a second, show you. Here's the trigger connection. I'll unplug this here before I open the back. And here's the inside. There is the trigger box. And in a later video we can go over if we need to make adjustments in that trigger box to make sure that the camera's triggering properly. Okay, so the camera's running. Now we want to make sure we get the image focus correctly. See if I can't drop the camera here. Move this right over here so you can see it. I hope that's good. So here's a little spacer you can use to set the needle at the bottom so it's in the frame of the view of the camera. And if you don't have one of these, we can get you one. Just reach out to us. But yeah, and we recommend the spark gap should be about 30 thousandths of an inch. So I'll use a couple of sheets of aluminum foil just to show you that. There's about 30 thousandths of an inch. And when it's on the pedestal there, you should be able to slide it. So if it's not quite right, you should be able to slide it under that needle. Just barely there. It's about 30 thousandths of an inch. We can remove our spacer. Now, oh wait, I went too quick there. I want to keep that there, so when we focus the camera, we can see the needle, because we're focused on the needle. So the camera's on, and now we'll pull up our PCC software. So if I'll point you over to the computer, I'll start PCC, the Phantom Camera Control application here. Let's see. Go to the live. I'm going to connect to my camera. There's my camera. And sometimes you see as you start it up, you'll have noise. You can see this area here. There's flickering going on. So you can do a current session reference, and that should take care of that. Here's our live shot. It's connected to our camera. We've got the settings at 20,000 frames a second, 256 by 256, an EDR of 0. Then you can click low light, and you should see the needle. So that looks in focus. So you're done there. You can do undo low. Now you're going to check, once you have it in focus, you're going to make sure that the camera triggers like it should.